Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there, welcome back.
Welcome back, guys. So this was a Patreon exclusive that we did yesterday. Absolutely mind-blowing. Has fascinating subject matter with black goo, as well as a lot of what's going on in Western North Carolina, all around the world, really, right now. It's just crazy, crazy times, a huge awakening. And at the same time, it still feels like there's something big just around the corner.
It does. It feels like we're not done yet.
Oh, I don't think we're even close to done. I think things are just ramping up to the point of insanity. This is a projection a week from Wednesday, so 9 days out. What is this showing? It's actually showing a storm with 100-mile-an-hour plus winds heading towards the southwest coast of Florida. Yes, here we go again. There you go, 102, 103. These are like some of the highest wind gusts I've seen in this projection. This is Ventusky. So is it possible we could have a November 20th to 21st hurricane impact in Florida? As you see here, it's showing a landfall perhaps around Cape Coral, Fort Myers area, maybe a Cat 2, Cat 3 again. It's too far out to really say for sure. But, isn't the weather a little strange, wouldn't you say?
Just a wee bit.
Just a wee bit strange. It's insane. We've had this hurricane, the one that crossed Cuba here, which got hit by a series of earthquakes, a 6.0, a 6.8, and about 3 or 4 aftershocks, not too far from Guantanamo Bay. By the way, we have this sitting out here, Raphael, or what's left of Raphael, and we have a ridge. If you look at the precipitation, we've had a lot of clouds, right? A lot of cloud cover. But when we look at precipitation, a lot of the U.S., for instance, is very, very dry. Yet we know there's a lot of places having a lot of flooding. And right now, Colombia and Venezuela, they have been getting pounded. This is Venezuela. This is yesterday. Well, it looks like there's going to be a delay checking out at the store. Does it not? I mean, what we're seeing, the craziness of this is going through the roof. And a lot of people are coming to the realization that we are literally seeing for ourselves how a mudflood event happens. And I don't think that's hype. I think that's just simple, obvious fact when you look at what's going on. So, this is Medellin, Colombia and Venezuela at the moment, getting absolutely pounded. It's just a matter of when it hits your area, pretty much. This is Beirut, Lebanon, as you see. Again, we've seen cars floating by all over the place. It's just part of the world now. And, things certainly seem to uptick in 2017. And yet, instead of being concluded with that last eclipse last April, it feels like all it's done is just kind of sped things up even more. Valencia, Spain, again, look at this. Look at how far under debris these cars are. Now, the reality is, when you go to Western North Carolina, there's maybe 3 times this on top of cars and who knows what else that was there on the surface. The surface has become, it's a refreshing, and it's not a good refreshing what we're watching going on here. So 12 days after the first big wave of catastrophic flooding, and still the weather pattern is not really letting up. Spain is getting pounded. People took to the streets and protesting the government handling, which it does seem to be the case now that people are recognizing and realizing that there's no government that's really helping anybody out there. This is a synopsis of why the damage was so bad in western North Carolina. And the fact is, in some areas, it doesn't look any different than it did 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. There's been virtually no progress in many, many areas. And, when we look to the numbers, we know the numbers are totally, totally off. Definitely don't forget about these people. And again, that Patreon that we did there, a lot of it's talking about what's going on. As you could see some of the words that are right here with this agency. And again, Federal Reserve is not federal, it's private banks. And FEMA is not really, truly federal, again, when you look at the history of FEMA and who really is FEMA. What's going on here is very, very disconcerting. And entire areas here in western North Carolina may be buried under 10 feet of mud. This really truly is a mudflood event that we are watching.
It's you really get taken back when you look at this. It's something that is really, really horrible, but it's happening. And one of those things where you have to do a double take. It's like, is this really happening? And you only have to just scratch the surface a little bit and realize that, yes, this is very real. This isn't just stuff to throw out there that's going to make people anxious and angry. This is very real. What's happening to the little ones, what's happening to the adults, what's happening to people's livelihoods, are getting handed to them in the form of a very small amount of a check. And they're being told, you can take this and go, or you can just not take this and you can go, and just taking everything from them. And we're barely allowed to talk about it. I don't want to throw any flag words in. I probably already have, but we are in too much trouble for telling too much truth. But still, I don't want to let it go. Does it kind of get us punished? Yes, it does. But I don't want to let it go. It's that moral thing inside of you. It's like, you have to keep it at the forefront of everyone's plate and just keep us focused on it, because I do believe there's an amount of healing that can be had. And I do believe the universe has ways of making things right again, as long as we don't just let it float by. I don't want this to be another news story and then tomorrow a new headline. No, these people deserve some type of justice. They deserve love. They deserve understanding. They deserve compassion and everything, and then some.
Yeah, absolutely. This I wasn't going to include, but I'll include it since Cindy was touching on that. Because I know it's very touchy, and we're going to touch on certain topics in a little shorter blurbs, because I know they're going to ostracize certain things. There's certain things they don't want attention to. There's certain things they do. They want everybody's attention right now on Mr. T. Absolutely. They want everybody listening to every single word that comes out of his mouth, thinking about what's coming and not thinking about what has just happened or what is still happening. So, here you see, and this is what she was talking about, the entire towns are not going to be anymore. They're not going to be re-resurrected. They're going to be left as is. And insurance companies, again, if there's no body, there's no official death, there's no payout. The reality is, again, humans, the average people, are on the bottom of the food chain when it comes to the way this power structure works here. We have to totally just rely on each other. There's no help coming from governments. It doesn't matter if you're in Spain or France or Russia or Ukraine, or it doesn't matter where you are. All these governments are basically just, they're only interested in themselves and what betters themselves. They use the sweat of the people and the back of the people to climb up on top of and just basically pursue their own egos. We see this with people that are looked at as heroes. I mean, how many times have you seen MTG taking selfies everywhere? Whether it's MTG or AOC or any of these, they're in the club. We're not. So this is part of that realization. Right now, the spotlight's on one of them that's in the club, because they don't want the spotlight on the average people and the suffering that's going on with the average people, while they keep pushing these agendas fast forward. And it is fast forward right now. We have to take care of each other. We have to work together. We have to realize ultimately they're going to lose total control. They are. It's just a matter of time. And so, the more people come together and work together and show that love and caring for each other, because believe me, no government on this planet cares about any of us. That's just the bottom line and the realization. So then the question is, why do they even exist? And the reality is we are much better off with none of them existing. That's just the bottom line. They are what hinders humanity's growth and progress. They are what hinder the cleansing of the earth in a positive way and a restructuring of things in a true, much more equanimous manner than what we have here. Because, again, it doesn't matter if you're talking quote-unquote democracy, capitalism, communism, socialism. Every single system that we have on this planet is all part of the control matrix.
We're all here, and we all need to look out for each other right now. And there's so many differences flying around out there, and those differences are not going to help us come together, obviously. But I think we do look at the things, and we look at each other, and we find out where is it that we do agree, and where is it that we can support each other on. Because right now they're expecting us to just cannibalize each other. That's all they're waiting for. And it's up to us. The choice is ours.
Yes, rise above. Don't be pulled within the drama. Source bless and namaste.
Namaste.